and welcome to Josef's Model Railway and Toy Room. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Just a little bit of housekeeping. You don't need to like, follow, or subscribe to any of the videos I put out there. I just put them out there where I can. Have a holly jolly great time doing so. Now, welcome back, because we are now finally commencing the build of our Fawlty Towers Hotel, which is what this second loop is all about. The first loop at the other end was all about our magnificent, marvelous cricket pitch. And if you haven't seen the video, link somewhere. My favorite part always, it must be my most watched video that I personally watch, is that section as we start to remove that buffalo check off on that lawn. Now, Fawlty Towers, of course, we're going to be breaking it up into pieces because there's a lot planned for it. But of course, the first thing we need to talk about is we had actually done the landscaping, and we've got this section for it where that we thoroughly tried to follow with all the inspiration from the original TV show. Now, there's a few different videos to do with how we ended up getting to where it is right now. But I think the link that's probably just on the screen at the moment is the one you want to see, where we sort of try to get the camera down to match up the car, the stairs, the trees that were placed, including a little stick that's down near the opening entrance there. All these little things were mentioned there, and it is a top quality watch, and is pretty much the bit that's going to give you the quick to bring you back to where we are now. So we obviously have our little piece of land here ready, and we're going to start building it. Now, expect a few videos as we carry on here, because in this one we're going to do today is pretty much the designing of what we need to do, my idea, because it's not going to be the exact hotel, what's happened to the hotel, what does it look like now, all of those sorts of things we're just sort of going to cover here briefly. And also, I've got the materials that we need to construct the building, and we're going to start to prefab and cut out the panels and walls and things we need based on how I'm going to try and create it. Remember, it doesn't have to be like some other models. It doesn't have to be absolutely picture perfect. We just want something, I always like to use the word, something that's recognizable. And pretty much that's where the landscaping is now. Of course, it's not as per the country club exactly of what was used, but there's enough elements on the angle to sort of recreate the image that you pretty much see on the iconic TV show. So that's where we are in this one. I don't expect it to be hugely that long in the video, but we're just going to talk about the plan of attack, and we're going to start cutting out what we need and go from there. Then we're obviously going to have to start to build it in another video. We're going to be doing interiors in a couple of the restaurant, the lobby, and one or two of the upstairs bedrooms we're going to create something with up there. And just see how we go. Maybe some other videos in between as the build goes on, just based on how this is going to happen. I still, to this date, as you're watching the video, have no idea quite how the roof is all going to come together, but these are all going to be challenges we'll discover as we go on. But let's get stuck in now and see where we end up with.
Welcome to Fawlty Towers, and for those of you that may not be aware, this was a TV show that only had a very limited amount of episodes. Was it 11 or was it 13? I can't quite recall here. But they certainly finished on a high. Much demand, but somehow everything well put together. So here are some inspiration shots from the show, just screen grabs I took, and as we can see, legendary steps going up to the front entrance with the topiary pots on either side, and of course just this iconic sort of sitting on this mowed green lawn, edging around it, and the building hotel sitting on top of it. Episode featuring O'Reilly, the shonky builder who never did finish that wall. And as a result, we also did take a truck similar and put a bit of sign writing. There's an episode for that if you haven't seen it in my series. And we're just basically just trying to capture the general vibe up to and including, here's a great shot where we see behind the fence and the entrance where I also tried to add a bit more detail as per we needed. And the trees there, a great shot there. That we're trying to mimic in the back. And I think you can see here we didn't do all that badly at all, albeit no hotel. Of course, there's the legendary garden gnome. So much so that there it is sitting at the entrance there. Let's come in on a closer shot, and just had to hand paint that, had to buy a whole kit just for that ridiculous gnome. But here we are. And of course, just a little quick screen grab here showing the frustration with Basil and that gnome. Going to insert it up Mr. Riley, as I understand. And the wall that was never finished. But there's the truck in a spot that looks like it's actually ready to build this hotel, so we'll take that. And here's a tremendous little before and after of trying to see how we've got this landscaping. Just sort of created the way I wanted, with the sign reading as Flowery Twats. What's happened to the hotel? Well, it was actually a country club, and it is actually no more. In fact, here are some rather heartbreaking scenes of its last days, and of course it has been demolished since. And it is a heartbreaking thing, and of course we have people who have of course conceptualized or created some 3D modeling of kind of based on what they saw on the show to create the floor plan of what it would look like inside. So we're going to take some grand inspiration from that, but it's a sad tale of affairs, but we did at least manage to get what we need, and we're going to take a few rudimentary measurements now to get an idea of how to shape this building together and scale it onto that sort of platform of just under 30 centimeters. Basically an A4 sheet of paper is where we're working on, and you can see here just trying to make sure that when we scale it, building chimneys and that, we've got what we need. But the general plan was to prefabricate the walls. Of course, just used a little bit of our AI co-pilot to assist me in just breaking down and scaling what we need. And the plan was we're going to cut it out and then glue the panels together. I did try with this sort of styrene thing. It just didn't quite work out, and then I couldn't get any more. So balsa wood is where we've ended up. This is 2mm balsa wood, and we're borrowing my wife's Cricut Machine, who I'd like to say a very big special thanks for her for helping me out with this project. And we were able to draw the templates out using the Designspace software for it. And here we are basically loading sheets in and prefabricating and cutting out the wall panels as needed. And you can see closely there the windows being cut out. In fact, there's a tremendous shot just coming up now where we're actually, if you watch carefully on the head as it's turning the blade around, there it goes, whoop, it's just cut the arch out, and I really was amazed at how fine that happened. It's worth saying that each sheet takes about 20 to 40 minutes to cut and does about 16 or 17 passes. So as it's cut it out, it starts over again and keeps gently applying that pressure and cutting until you can see at the end I'm legitimately just popping pieces out and marking what each one is for. Most of those walls that have the 4 windows, that's the bulk of the ones we need. Apart from trying to create the kind of bay window styling at the front and the custom arch, most of it are just preset, running on the same dimensions we need to create this. What we're going to do inside and the roof structure, I don't know, but I think as long as we've got a shell, we can sort of just make whatever happens inside, because not all the rooms are going to be see-through and transparent as windows, just a few. The ones that were first in did, and I think it's because they're sort of level, and as it sort of bows as the machine's going in, the other ones were sort of moving and it didn't, so they needed a bit more. They're usable, I just have to give them a bit of a sand, but I think I'd need to, yes, I think cutting the boards in half will make a big difference, and also making sure I've got something supporting it on the other side. The first two popped out, just popped out, windows popped out, everything. Textbook. Well, that is right. They're 600mm sheets, so I just strapped them all together and cut them down to about 300mm. And I can fit, on a 300mm, I could get 4 wall panels done. I can get quite a bit done as needed in like a giant game of Tetris. My wife was insisting she could stack more in to get more efficient cuts. I wasn't short of having the timber that I needed there, the balsa sheets, but that's fine. Now you'll notice that, yes, it's taped down. We need to do that just to stop it from moving. And just important noting, a knife blade. Yes, don't worry. I was pretty much 95% through cutting all the walls until our blade had snapped. But look, I'd pretty much say you might need one or two to do this. I think it's superb. I can see more applications, not that there are any on my horizon anytime soon. And I think it's a wonderful bit of kit to get if you're going to do it. It's a good way to go. It's a good way. The machine, this is a good way to go about it. I'm not going down the world of 3D printing or anything like that. It does just work very, very well. I know there are different machines and people do a lot with their Cricuts, and in this application I think it's a wonderful approach to go with. Once you get your materials and your formula right, you could really just build whatever it is you so choose.
Right, now let us do something that we very rarely do on this channel, and that is I'm now going to take a seat on a chair and have a closer look at what the results we have. Okay, well, here's where we've ended up at the moment. Let's just talk about a couple of things. One, there's a rudimentary plan that we've sort of worked out what we need. I won't go into much detail about that. We'll talk about that toward the end, actually. The same thing here where we're trying to scale and get what we need done. Just gives me, a bit of an idea of heights and measurements and things like that. That's going to become more important later on. First of all, this is the material that I was chasing. It's like a foam board, but unlike others that end up getting pressed in with like it's paper and then a foam board, it's like this, I don't know what it is. And this was the product I wanted to use, but I couldn't find it anymore, and you just need the regular cutter on it. But you can see it's obviously not ideal. And every time I kept trying to get, and then we've got a foam board, which is the other one I'm talking about, and that one's no good. And then I have so many of the thin plastic ABS type of stuff, which is definitely not what I need. In fact, I must have about $300 of that we'll never ever use. Then I've got a little test situation, slab, and then here's where we were testing it out, and I was going to make this work, but obviously we didn't. Here's the scale height of the figure, so I've got a rough idea of what we're doing. So we pop all of this stuff aside. As you can see, I was on a bit of a winner, but I wasn't, clearly. Then again, this is basically my templates and plans we're using to create what we needed. Aside for just a minute, and all we want to focus on for the rest of this video is basically what we ended up with. Now these are just somewhat, because they may be used for something else, these are just the cutouts of the window sections that we needed, and I think, as you can see, it's quite good. I'm still going to be putting window framing around it and little touches here and there, nothing major, but there's very little we have to do. There's not really any sanding we need to do. It's very good for what is basically the rough cut that we've done. Here's our beautiful archway. There's no way I was ever going to do that freehand. I think that really has turned out wonderful. And then these are what we need the most of, the actual just standardized wall panel windows. And of course, as you can see, what are these other ones for? Well, they will be for creating a bit of a bay window situation. I can't exactly remember. Just take great confidence that everything I need to do it has been done. And then the other things I haven't poked out yet, these are sections for walls that need to join up or what have you. So we certainly now have everything we need. So in the next video, we're going to glue this the walls together to create a bit of a frame of what we're going to do. And we are going to need to sit it on something which is about this size that'll be trimmed down, and then we'll concrete it. I'm fake concrete around the edge. I'm not too sure. That's the general approach, but I think this is a good way to go. You'll obviously need a cutting mat for this. I just need the one mat, and obviously you would have seen that I taped it down on the edges as they recommend. And again, 600mm sheets that these were, and you can see I literally just came along and in the middle taped, I had maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 of these taped up in the middle and then cut down with a drop saw, and that's what we've got. So the next part is we're going to put them together. We're going to
glue them up, put it together, and we should have a bit of a building shape we can start working with.
Well, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's so refreshing now to know that we have had this landscaping done more than a year ago, and we're only now just getting on to where we need to be. But it was a lot of experimentation with the different types of materials for how we were going to build it and how we're going to do it. I've still got 2 dedicated Woodland Scenics Just Plug lighting hubs giving me a dedicated 8 channels to do some lighting and stuff we still need to be doing in the building. So far, the only lighting apart from our lamp posts at the front where the stairs are and a few street lights, there's not a great deal going on at the moment. So that's all going to be for another day, and I'm still trying to remember how this little trapdoor worked to get down there. I also want to just quickly make mention that it's a great weight lifted off my shoulder because I wasn't quite sure how this was all going to get started. But the good news is we have now got what we need. It's in my head, the plan of attack for how we're going to do it, how we're going to do the walls when it comes to painting, a whole lot of exciting things that we're going to cover. And after that disaster of a video you've seen not long ago where I attempted to weather my own tankers, which you may or may not be able to see just off to the right of me at the moment, let's stick with something that I'm pretty confident I know what I'm doing. For example, when we put the illumination into our buildings on the open all hours kind of scene, I wasn't going for anything too over the top, but I will admit that that was enough of a experiment that my toes got nice and dipped in properly that makes me want to experiment more, which is why we're going to attempt to do a bit of interior in here. Don't expect that amazing dollhouse appearance that a lot of other people do, but just enough that sort of gives you that transition that when you watched it from TV, when they shot an outdoor thing and when then returned to the studio, the segue that sort of seemed to happen by creating the outdoors indoors and likewise creating the indoors from the outdoors seemed to happen so effortlessly. So it would be nice to try. That's all we can do. Still, I'm sure you'll join me in the next one. But until then, please do stay safe. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Toodles!